Well, it's Sonic Month. I mean, I guess my Sonic Voices video gave me the idea to do the rest of the month as Sonic Month. So that's what I'm going to do. The next few Wednesdays is going to be Sonic-related videos, including I have an interview, or had an interview, with John St. John, the greatest character ever, Big the Cat. But that's beside the point. Now I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite Sonic the Hedgehog video games. Now, a lot of these are going to be nostalgia talking, and I mean a big bulk of them. Some will be some underrated masterpieces I didn't play till I was an adult, but most of these are basic nostalgia on my top 10 list. So let's get things started and let's start listing this shit. Let's go. Top 10 favorite Sonic the Hedgehog video games of all time, by my opinion. Number 10 is the original Sonic the Hedgehog itself, Sonic the Hedgehog from the original 90s. You know, I've got to say, this game pushed a lot of the envelope. It kind of broke ground for Sega, and it made Sonic rule the world in the 90s. Without this game, there would not be what we have today. There would be no Sonic Adventure, no Sonic Adventure 2. There would be no Sonic 2. There would be no Sonic without this fucking game. But this game does have a lot of freaking problems to it, and I mean a lot of problems. There's a lot of waiting around and standing in one place where you have to wait. There's a lot of times where you feel like Sonic is supposed to be fast, and you're like constantly tapping your foot like Sonic yourself, just sitting there waiting for the damn thing to go. Though I will say, nothing can ever top Green Hill Zone, but good lord, it just, after that, the game kind of takes a downward spiral. It's a fun game, it's enjoyable, it's fantastic, but good God almighty, some of the platformings really needed to be tweaked. And on top of that, the worst thing that this game does is no spin dash. No Sonic spin dash. So you've got to get your momentum and run again. I'm basically nitpicking here. This is a fun game, no matter how you slice it, but good God, it's better to play it on the Nintendo DS mobile port, because they actually added the spin dash and etc., and they added a few extras to make the game a little better. It's a classic game, but good God almighty, it's got a lot of problems. Number 9 is fairly new, Sonic fucking Mania. And this one is basically for fans of the old days anyhow. And I am one of those old day fans, especially when it comes to the Sonic franchise here. This definitely has a lot of Sonic and Knuckles vibes and Sonic 3 vibes to me. And it's just fun in of itself. It's just kind of just a big taste of nostalgic cake. And that's about how it works here. There's really nothing that really pushes the envelope here. I mean, there is just a lot of fun here, but it's basically a rehash of the older games in remastered form with some new twists and turns to their levels. That's why it's so low on the list. It's a great game, and it's definitely for the older fans, but it's got its share of problems here. That's all I'm going to say. It's definitely got some issues, but it is worth at least one playthrough if you're an old-style Sonic fan. Now this one, Knuckles Chaotix, I didn't play until way later down the road when I bought a Sega 32X to be able to get to play this. Unfortunately, there is no downloadable PSN downloadable version to this game. You have to have a 32X to play it, or illegally download it with a Sega 32X emulator. Me at the time, I didn't know how to do that, but Knuckles Chaotix is probably the best game on the Sega 32X in general, and if they would have been able to commercialize it just a little better, it would have been a great game. This one is fun. You basically are Knuckles in this one as you lead Team Chaotix through the entire run of the games while trying to stop Dr. Robotnik. And yes, I'm calling him Robotnik, even though the titles say Eggman. I don't give a fuck. Throughout the run of the thing. And it's really well done. It's easily one of the best done games. And it takes advantage of the 32X's life support, I suppose. I mean, the 32X we know has problems. It looks like a fucking mushroom. But this game is really worth the time and energy to play and get it. It's mainly for hardcore Knuckles fanboys like myself. But however, yeah, it's got a lot of expansion and run throughout the levels. I mean, some of the levels are great. But the only thing that I'm going to nitpick about, and it's a slight one, is having the ring connection. It kind of sucks. It doesn't feel too much like the Sonic games itself, but I suppose that's the idea of it. A Knuckles game is supposed to feel very different than, say, the Sonic games. Let's move on. And now we're getting a big taste of nostalgia cake. Yes, Sonic fucking Heroes. I have a fun fact about this game. This was the very first PlayStation 2 game I ever got to buy and ever got to play, and I loved it. In the year that the PS2s were going, dropping prices like crazy and etc., I wanted a PS2 so badly, and I wanted Grand Theft Auto Vice City for it. My parents wouldn't let me get it, so I opted for Sonic Heroes, and it reignited my love for the Sonic franchise once again. Sonic Heroes is vastly unique, and it does have a lot of issues with it, but it's still a lot of fun. You get to do a three-way team-up. You could be Team Dark, Team Light. You could go with the super easy level with Big the Cat, the greatest Sonic character ever. And then on top of that, you could play as other characters throughout, like Team Chaotix. It's all pretty fun. They all have their nice setting storyline, and they mesh together around Metal Sonic. The gameplay is vastly unique. You have to use all three characters within the games that you're in the teams with. They all have a special ability set up for each other. My favorite being the actual Team Dark, and you get to use Shadow, and I can't remember the name of the robot. I'm sorry. And, of course, Rouge here. And it's just great how the team cutscenes and etc. kind of just really form together. And the game graphics have kind of stepped up a notch on the PS2. So, I've got to say, PSN, why haven't you put this shit on downloadable yet? What's the matter with you? Anyhow, Sonic Heroes is a vast classic. But it's not the best of their games. Let's move on. Oh yeah, now we're on a freaking Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. Personally, I like the DX version, so I'm going to add kind of a cheat here and do both. Sonic Adventure took the Sonic world by storm yet again and gave us that 3D platforming game that the Sonic games currently use now. And all I've got to say is Adventure is fantastic. It's got a lot of issues, but good God is it fun, and it is so cool to see how expansive the Sonic universe really is when you get to play as a multiple cast of characters like Big the Cat. Okay, I'm done with the Big the Cat jokes. We all know that thing sucks. It's a fucking ugly Barney the Dinosaur reject, and I hate it. Anyhow, we all know exactly how big the Sonic universe is, but at the time, it was all just straight platforming run through, speed runs, basically. I mean, we had games like Sonic Blast on the Game Gear and stuff to kind of slow it down, but it wasn't the same. Sonic Adventure actually built upon these worlds and made them so much better. You get to explore way more than you could possibly ever could throughout any of the games beforehand. It is just a fantastic, well put together game, and it is worthy of this spot right here. It's a dead even match, but Sonic Adventure broke new ground for Sega and Sonic, and the Dreamcast is criminally an underrated device. Now, I do prefer the Director's Cut version, but good God, both of these versions are so good, I keep them on the list. Sonic Adventure, what can I say? Excellent. And it just kept getting better from there. Well, until 2006, but we don't talk about that shit. Where would we be without the original Sonic 2? Now, this was actually my first fucking Sonic game. The music from Emerald Hill Zone and everything, oh my god, it was just wonderful. I absolutely love this game. And this one, it actually made me want to go out and buy a Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive for, you know, people that live in the European nations there. Anyhow, this one was just so freaking great. I mean, the colors, the corresponding, everything just really worked. This was Sonic finally reaching its peak and becoming that Sega mascot that the world actually needed. And yes, for a while, because of this game, he actually put Mario down in its place. He kicked the shit out of Mario for a few years, and he became Sega's go-to guy. I mean, this was the mascot everyone wanted to be. It created cartoons. It created everything fresh off the Sonic 2. And I've got to say, Sonic 2 just really hits it out of the park with its expansive gameplay, its fast runtime, and it just definitely improved on Sonic 1 by far. And it's not the only one on here to do this. I mean, you've got so much expansive levels going on. Oh my god, I love this one. This is one that I often come back to, and you can't get enough of it. Now, the later stage gets to be a pain in the ass, like the chemical plant. Dear God, I want to just claw my eyes out with a dull razor every time I get to certain spots in this game. But damn, they really fixed things up here, and they gave Sonic the spin dash, which is easily what he needed. It's almost a perfect game, but there's some more on this list that I really enjoy, so let's move on. This is a game a lot of people never heard of, and I played it as a teenager because, hey, it was at a GameStop, it was $5, what the hell. Sonic Battle is actually something I wanted in a Sonic game for a long time. Instead of Sonic's usual running, jumping, platforming, you know, run straight through, get through the bad guys, get to the end of the stage kind of game, here we got something I've always wanted to do, fighting, and it's a full-fledged Sonic fighting game. And I don't mean by that shitty arcade that came out like in the 90s that was trying to rip off the Super Smash Brothers, which, yeah, Sonic got to be in Smash Brothers later. Anyway, back to what I was saying, this one finally expands on the universe of the other characters, and you get to be Shadow, Knuckles, and etc. throughout the team, and you get to pick into fights. You're actually in platforming fights. The gameplay in here is pretty cool, too. It's about time we get to see the characters get a little freaking action, and it is just so worth it to play this one. The graphics actually look cool. Even though they kind of are using that Sonic X style graphics, because that's about when this game came out, was around when Sonic X was being aired in Japan, and yeah, you can kind of get that vibe here, but there's no Chris, so that works. Anyhow, the gameplay is fun and the mechanics are pretty easy to use. In fact, I kind of wish this got a home port release with a little bit better graphics. This could have been something really fun. A Sonic Battle game was what everyone really needed. It's a lot better than, say, the one that came out in the 90s, like I said, and it's really well worth the time and investment. It's on the Game Boy Advance, and it's fairly cheap to play, too. Fairly cheap to buy, and honestly, yeah, I would recommend anyone checking this out that is a major Sonic fan. A lot of you guys probably never heard of it, but it is freaking worth the time and effort. Oh yeah. Where would we be without Sonic freaking CD? Sonic CD is just one of those games that can blow your mind. You either love it or hate it, and I love it. Talk about fixing up a lot of the issues with Sonic 1 and even Sonic 2. You get to play as Tails. Tails can fly. Sonic does his spin dash. There's all sorts of cool graphics here that just suck you in from the beginning of it. And it feels like a full-fledged Sonic game. And the cutscenes here look awesome. And I know that they inspired the cutscenes for the OVA anime that came out in the 96 and the movie that was dubbed in 99. But you get what I'm saying. This thing is just fucking amazing. Now, a lot of people prefer the English track to Sonic CD. For me, it's the Japanese track. Something about it just sounds a lot more wholesome and a lot more easier on the ears. Though I will say that I do enjoy the song Sonic Boom. It is catchy as hell, and whoever wrote that did a really good job with it. But however, this game, Robotnik is not the villain. No, in this one, it is Metal Sonic is the main villain. This is Metal Sonic's game. He kidnaps Amy Rose, and it's up to you to save him, along with Planet Mobius. And all I've got to say, no level gets boring here. It's all really fun and enjoyable, and I've got to say, I love it. This one is just easily one of the best ones, and sadly enough, I didn't get to play this one as a kid. I didn't get to play this one until I was in my early 20s, and the PS3 had it up for download on PSN. So I bought it from there and played it from there and just fell in love with it. So nostalgia isn't really playing a factor on this. I really wish I could have played it, but like Knuckles Chaotix, I had to wait until a better time. Anyhow, let's move on to number 2. Oh yeah, we're in there with Sonic Adventure 2. Whoever knew this one wasn't going to be on the list has not known me very long. Sonic Adventure 2 took the problems of Sonic Adventure 1 and fixed it. The only issue this game has is the little chow things, which you have to actually use them. Kind of like in Kingdom Hearts 3 where you have to cook, but worse. Anyhow, that's the main fault here. This one is all about Shadow and Sonic's relationship. Sonic being framed for crimes he didn't commit, while Shadow is doing crimes, and they pretty much mixed him up. Anyhow, it's kind of cool to watch Shadow and Sonic have kind of a rivalry built up, and they're not the only playable main focuses of the story. You get Knuckles back, who kind of goes off on his own thing, and he builds up a rivalry with Rogue the Bat. And then on top of that, we get Amy in a slight relationship with Shadow. I also like Tails' relationship with Dr. Robotnik here, and I'm still calling him Robotnik. I'm from the 90s. And they are more rivalry-ish because they're both inventors in this game, and they kind of go and correspond and fight with each other to use their inventions against each other. The story is really good. It's kind of your basic, average, go, straightforward story, but man, it really hooks in, especially when you get the later version, the battle version of it. It's just freaking great. It is easily one of the best Sonic games ever made, and it left Adventure Saga on a good note. The ending always gets me choked up too. Shadow's sacrifice actually makes me stream a tear or two down my cheek there. It's just wonderful. And the gameplay is nice. They cleaned it up. The levels are nice and exploring. And you get to do more than just run straight forward. But here I am talking about exploration. And my number 1 pick is going to be very like, what the hell? And very obvious. But here it is. Number 1 is a cheat. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And yes, Sonic 3 was basically... the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge was created so you could finish up the remainder of Sonic 3 because there were 2 parts. They had a lot of elements to put in. But anyhow, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is easily one of the best... no, it is the best game ever made out of the Sonic franchise. No other Sonic game has been able to top this. You start off playing Sonic, or you can do Knuckles' story, who you're trying to sabotage Sonic until you join up with him at the very end. It's really fantastic. And it started off by introducing us to Knuckles, who is my favorite Sonic character, who built up the rivalry with Sonic in this game. In fact, it was this game that got me hooked into the comics. This was also one of the best games, musically, graphically, exploration-wise, character-wise, just excellent. It is awesome. You could play as fucking Super Sonic by the end if you get all the Chaos Emeralds. It's not extremely difficult, but it does have a good setting. Tails' levels are really easy because you could do all those with flight, while Knuckles is a little harder, and while you could crawl and crack through places where Sonic couldn't get with his spin dash. And then on top of that, there's Sonic, which is just a great speed run. They even give you shields that have powers, especially if you use Sonic with them. Sonic, when he gets the lava shield, if you press the jump button twice, you get to use an extra boosting power to kill your enemy. It was just the best structured Sonic game ever made, and I'm going to stand by that. And I have been a fan of this game ever since I was a little bitty kid. I mean, it just took Sonic and gave so much more layers to it. And I think without Sonic 3, we wouldn't have got the character development that we got in the later games, because this is when we actually started caring about the characters. And the introduction of Knuckles was no exception. He brings so much to the table, and the characters all bring something to the table. Hell, it's just an excellent game in general. I mean, it's not just the best Sonic game made, but it's one of the best video games ever made in existence. I mean, I would put it in my top 10. That's how good this game is. They really went all balls to the wall on this one, and I've got to say, I'm really happy with it. It is easily worthy of being number one, and it will easily sit on this throne, and I stand by that. And that finishes off this list. To be back with another list, and that list is going to be ranking Knuckles' voice. Yes, I will be back to rank Knuckles' English voice actors. So get ready, and always remember, I'm listening.